So what do you do when you have nothing? Someone had a good question for me on YouTube. They were like, Steve, I want to, you know, do things. I want to change the direction that my finances are going in. I want to repair my credit. I have debt collectors trying to sue me. But what do you do when you have nothing? And so I want to make this video to let everyone know that we all have something to bring to the table. But what most people don't realize is that you don't realize the talent that you have to bring to the table for whatever reason. We're all come up in, different ways with our family, different levels of income, different levels of education. But I've seen this across the board where if a person does not have their mind right, no amount of help is going to help you. No amount of help, or you might take some little steps, but it's not going to help you. But what I don't want you to take my word for it, because you could think that I have some ulterior motive by saying what I'm saying. But I could tell you my situation. So would you think that I had nothing? Because when my wife and I came to the state of Wisconsin, when I got out of the military, we had $1,500 cash, and we had a Nissan pickup truck, white Nissan lowrider pickup truck that kept sliding off the road as we were driving up from El Paso to Wisconsin during the winter. We spent half of our money paying for tow trucks to take us out of the ditches because I did not know how to drive in snow. And it was a low rider. It kept getting stuck when we would go like on the off ramp. The snow was like this deep. It was a low rider. It would get stuck. We spent half of our money to get out of ditches and to get out of those situations. We had a budget. So to get up here, we had a budget set aside from money that we saved. And we had already spent what we thought we were, more than what we were going to spend. We thought we were going to just spend gas money in hotel or motel back at that time. But we didn't even, because we were spending so much money getting out of the ditches, guess what we did? We slept in the back of the pickup truck in the dead middle of winter. I'm 20. I'm 20 years old. She's 20 years old. And you better bet at that time while we were sitting there freezing, trying to sleep. And it's a long trip from El Paso, Texas to Wisconsin. Look it up on the map on how long it would take. You could have, or we could have the feeling that we had nothing. Nobody wanted to help, all of that. The decisions that we make in our lives, regardless if they're good for us or not, are going to be based on if we feel like it's something safe, secure, certainty. We got to always know what's going to be happening. We want to take small steps to move forward. We don't want to take too much of a leap because if we make a mistake, we don't want to have to correct too much going back. And then some of the times we'll throw out there, I don't have nothing, when we do have stuff. I like to give an example of when I was in the United States Army, I went to multiple countries. And I can tell you that we have it better than any country on the map back then. And then I have friends from Russia, business associates from Russia, business associates from Ukraine, business associates from the Philippines, Jordan, Palestinian friends, Egyptian, Canadian, like from a lot of different countries, and they all come here because it is totally different. We have so much available to us that we are blind to even see it. And one of the biggest problems that I had to overcome, that if you are not getting the results that you want in your life, is that you need to overcome this. So write this down. If you ever say anything out of your mouth or you think it that nobody wants to help you, this is what's actually happening. Nobody wants to help you the way that you think you need to be helped. And if the way you think you need to be helped was working, you wouldn't need help. So I'll say that again. If you think or you say to people, nobody wants to help me, what you're actually saying is they don't want to help me the way that I want to get help, which translates to they're not going to help you the way you want to get help, because the way you want to get help doesn't work. And you know that. I don't have to tell you that. I had to come to that realization. People come into your life and they will give you the information, and you don't even do anything with it. I was once that way. I remember my wife asked me a question when we got together, and she saw all of these business books and stuff and all these courses that I had bought over the years in my teens. And she was like, what are you doing with all of this stuff? Are you just playing around? And I didn't even say nothing back to her. I just thought to myself, like, what the F am I doing? And something clicked in my mind that day that I'm not going to buy all of this stuff and then not do something with it. It like just clicked. But then something else had to click. When people started to come into my life that were mentors, the first thing they said to me is, if you think that this is going to happen overnight, and if you think that I got to give you some deadline when it's going to happen, get the F out of here right now. I remember my real estate mentor told me that. My real estate mentor, when I was 17 years old, when I went to my real estate mentor, I paid him $1,500 face to face. And he talked to me about investing in real estate, took me around while he was convincing people to buy their property from him. His specialty was talking to families that were getting divorced. He went to the courthouse to see who was getting divorced, and if they owned a house, he would go and offer something to the husband, something to the wife, and then he would take over the mortgage. Back then, it was you could assume him. But he showed me exactly how to do it, and he was doing it with very little money. Showed me. And then one day I walked in there and said, I'm going to the United States Army. That's my picture right there. Well, I didn't even say it. I had a funny way that I was talking. And he said, what did you do? Join the Army. And I was like, he said, what are you going to do? Join the Army or something? And I was like, thought for a second. I said, I already joined. And he was like, I already knew you joined. Not that he knew by the way I was acting that I had done something. And he just figured it must have been, back then it was just run to the Army. When the people come into your life, what I've learned is that you just evaluate. And if that person is consistently working towards something and you can see it with your own eyes, and you have that feeling, then you have to get yourself to that vibrational level and say, I'm going to plug in right there. That's why they call it, you want to plug in. When you plug in, you start to download information. And as we all know, on a computer, it even takes a little bit for stuff to download. But that doesn't mean you know how to use it. And once it downloads, and then you put it in operation, you're going to have to get used to working a different way. That's why I said you are upset because you're like, oh, well, they're not doing it my way. Your way is not working. And I say this because so many people right now are frustrated with what's going on in our country, frustrated with how stuff is changing, with how they're going to have to go about with their credit and debt, and all of this stuff is just like falling down on them. And I'm here to tell you that it remains consistent. You want to focus on your credit. So what I told that individual, I said that if you have nothing, the first thing you need to focus on is, what do you want? What do you want out of your life? Because when you have nothing, you get to paint the fuller picture. It is a lot harder. Trust me. I've consulted with people, with companies, with attorneys, with different people in different professions, and they're like, I want to make a change, but I got too much to lose to make a change. And when I made that change in my life, I had nothing to lose. When I was 20 years old and started my first company, I had nothing to lose. So when you have nothing, when you think you have nothing, you don't really have nothing to lose. And so you can paint your picture of your life, and then you start to implement it. The first step that I would suggest a person do is to get your finances under control, your household, all of that stuff, to a level that you know what it is, like a business. Start to save some money, not too much money, because that's going to be too much on you. Figure out a way that you can start putting away. It could be $5 or $10 a week. And you might be saying, well, $5 or $10 isn't going to do anything. That's that whole thought process there that I was just talking about. You think that you got to save a whole bunch of money, and you know you can't save a whole bunch of money. And then when someone tells you, save a little bit of money just so you can practice on even saving any amount of money. Because right now, all of your money is gone. I was doing a coaching session with a young lady, and she said that on one of her commissions, she saved a whole bunch of money, and then she ended up spending the money a week later. And that's because the habit of spending money, relationship with money, has not changed. And so saving a little bit of money and not doing anything with it over a period of time will allow you to be able to save a lot of money. I talk about this a lot with some of my employees, where I say it doesn't matter how much money you get paid. If you can't handle a small amount of money, you're not going to be able to handle a lot of money. We see this with sports stars. We see it with see it with people who run companies, blow all of their money. As a matter of fact, Philadelphia Eagles, congratulations to them, just won the Super Bowl. Look up what happened to the owner of the Philadelphia Eagles before this owner. He lost all of his money gambling. Like, could you imagine that you own a football team and you lose all of your money and you end up having to sell the team? So if a person habits, relationship with money is messed up, it doesn't matter how much money they have, they're going to destroy it. So, and then the next step is to work on your credit. If your credit is messed up, work on your credit, because let me tell you why it's so important. Is that people with bad credit pay more for the same things that people with good credit pay less for. You could literally be saving thousands of dollars a year simply because you have good credit, and you, even if you stayed with your spending that you're doing, with your stayed with what you have with payments, and you just had good credit and you refinanced all of that stuff, you would instantly save money. If you ever need to use your credit, you would get approved. You would know that you're going to get approved. Having that level of comfort, that level of confidence, makes a huge difference in the way that you move forward. As a matter of fact, people who got good credit actually don't go out there and try to apply for a lot of stuff. So it's like it goes hand in hand. You get good credit, you don't go out there and try to get trapped into bad loans and apply for 1 million different credit cards. You won't do that, because you know, and you have changed your habits and your relationship with money. So that makes you use your credit in the way that it needs to be used. It increases your buying power if you ever need to get something and you need to be able to, go kind of stretch it out, because we know how it is. Some stuff could cost a lot more than what you expect, but you really want to get it for yourself and your family. You're able to get that because of your credit. Another thing is like insurance. A lot of people don't even know that auto insurance, health insurance, these companies are doing ratings on your insurance, on your credit reports, because that when they look at your credit reports, they're looking at the way that you're running your life, and they can get some type of a risk factor rating based off your credit scores. And then just overall, like if there was an umbrella over you right now, you had that umbrella on over you right now, it would be the peace of mind and financial security, because that's what it would bring when you first start to run your household money like a business, so you know what's coming in, what's going out. You'll be able to save money. Because you're able to save money, you're able to start looking at ways that you can save more money, and potentially, if you got bad credit, that's going to be the next thing that you're going to tackle. And you're going to do everything that you can possible, and it's going to take steps, because everybody's situation is a little bit different. Your situation is different than other people's, but your overall goal in your mind is that you're going to change. And remember, if you're not getting the results that you want right now, that means that you're not doing it the right way. So get with someone that can help you repair your credit the right way. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch video what makes us different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website yourthenumber3scores.com. Grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you early in the game, grab my 3-pack of letters, statute of limitations, debt validation, cease and desist, collection activities letter. I do ask for donations on those letters. And last week, I really, really, really appreciate the donations, because it has shown to me that you really appreciate it, because those letters can save you time, money, and frustration with dealing with debt collectors. Please subscribe to the channel. Post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and Founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.